Hey guys, welcome back. So I have got my January monthly favorites here for you today. So what I do in these videos is I quickly mention overall Friday favorites. So if you want swatches and more info on those favorites, check out the original Friday favorites where I mention them. But I like to kind of pick out like my overall favorites from Friday favorites for my monthly favorites videos. And then I have other things to share with you. So today I have a hair care thing, a body care thing, a makeup thing, random, and then of course books. So we've got some good things to chat about today. So if you're new here, my name is Leslie. Welcome. I love to do favorites videos, new at the drugstore reviews, empties get ready with me's. Just a lot of fun stuff here on my channel. So if you're new, I would love it if you hit that subscribe button. Stuck around for a while, I'd love to have you here on my channel. So yeah, we're chatting about January monthly favorites. So let's get to it. Okay, overall Friday favorites. Let me refer to my notes. Okay, so I would say for eyes, it would be two face palettes. Like I just keep reaching for these for my eyes and then also on my cheeks. So I would say this is eye favorites, but then also cheek favorites too. But then I have another cheek favorite. Anyway, I've been loving these on the eyes and the cheeks. This is the Physicians Formula Butter Dream Team face palette. So it just has some good products in it that like I love this on the eyes mixed with this, just kind of blended together. This on the lid. This is a brow bone highlight. So if you've got like bronzers, blushes, highlighters in this palette, it's really, really good. I love that blush. It is so good. And then this one is the Physicians Formula All-Star face palette. The packaging is so cute on these and it's nice for storage and travel that you have like this nice sleek packaging. I mean, it is a larger palette, but you've got a lot of products in here. So I really like this. And then this one has like a face powder in the face palette. Powder, highlighter, bronzer, highlighter, blush. So I've been loving this on the eyes with a little bit of this just to kind of like soften a little bit. Bring in the blush from the other palette on the eyes still to add just a little bit of a pinkiness. And then a mix of these two on the lid. So that's what I have on my lids right now. This one's gotten all messy because I'm mixing it with this, but whatever. They're really pretty on the eyes and on the cheeks too. They're just good palettes. I've been really loving those. This Ofra palette, I love this. They sent this to me. The Midi palette in Blossom Blush. Oh my goodness. Usually I don't swatch. I say refer to the Friday favorites, but I have to swatch this because of this one right here. This is a gorgeous blush. I love this on the cheeks, but this on the cheeks, but especially on the eyes, this is gorgeous. Obviously, it's this glowy pink, glowy light, almost icy pink. It's amazing. So I love that little palette. It's so, so good. Okay, what else? Oh, this. I love this on the cheeks. These new CoverGirl True Blend Skin Enhancer Balms. So this is one of the blush balms. Look at this cute pink packaging. It's so happy. I love it. I love that it matches the product inside. This is Bubblegum Pop. That's adorable. It's so good. It is pigmented but blendable. Great formula. I love it. It's like it's hydrating and pretty and forgiving looking on the cheeks, but it's not too balmy. Like even though it says balm, it's not like it's overly glossy or kind of moves your makeup underneath. I really, really like the formula of these, especially the blushes. I've been reaching for them a ton. And then for lips, a classic, Maybelline Born With It. Such a beautiful neutral pink. Now I like to pair it with either a lip liner, a slightly deeper lip liner, or lip color. So I've been reaching for the Essence the Slim Stick in Baby Got Blush, which is one of my all-time favorite lipsticks. So is this. So they work really well together. So that's what I have on right now. But yeah, this is just like a good classic neutral soft pink lip color. Great cream lipstick formula. So I like to pair it with a lip liner or a slightly deeper lip color. And this one's good as like almost a lip liner because of the kind of more up and down shape to it. Like, you know, you can kind of get good-ish precision with it. And something about the formula, it works, I think because it kind of stays well. It works well as that kind of like outer lip color product. Okay, next favorite. I went ahead and pulled up some information on this so I could read info to you about this. I don't know if have I mentioned this? Because I can't remember when I started using this. I feel like it's been around for a while and I used it in the past, but then I've been using it more recently. I don't remember. But anyway, I've been reaching for it a ton. So I wanted to mention it in this video. If I've already mentioned it, I apologize. Here's another mention. I'm still loving it. This is the Laura Geller Double Take Baked Versatile Powder Foundation. I wear it in porcelain. Look at this giant container. It's so nice. Such a good formula. Do I have something I could do like a little quick touch up? Let's see, because I'm looking a little bit glowy on my forehead. Well, do I have highlighter on this? Hold on just a second. Let me get a brush. And I'm just going to go over. This is such a beautiful formula. It is so smooth looking on the skin. Laura Geller products, oh, they're so good. And I say this a lot, that they're forgiving because they're just so smooth looking on texture, fine lines. I mean, just gorgeous. So this one, let's see. I hope this is the same. Yeah, I think, is it the same product? The Double Take Baked Versatile Powder Foundation. Let's see. Baked Double Take Powder Foundation. I'm on Amazon. It says buildable medium to full coverage. This says matte finish. I would say it's more satin. It says high impact, sweat resistant coverage, matte, lightweight, comfortable finish, long wearing and breathable technology, rosacea and sensitive skin safe. It's just, it is so good. So I hope I'm reading about the right product. But what I would say about it is that yes, it's just very smooth. That's the number one thing. Smooth and skin-like looking on. Like it's not dry and powdery looking. It's not overly glowing. It's long wearing. Has some good coverage, but not too much coverage. It's not heavy feeling. It is just amazing. So I use it as like a setting powder. Like I still use my foundation or BB cream or whatever. And then I put this over top. Not a lot of it, just like a light kind of, you know, layer of it, but so pretty that way. But I think it would be great as a powder foundation too, like with more coverage with a sponge or a powder puff or something like that. It is so good. Okay, I have a body care favorite. This is so funny because this is so not like glamorous beauty product, but it is like this works. We got this last summer when Timothy was doing a tile project in our house, and we were at like a tile flooring place, and they had these by the register because his hands were so dry from just, you know, doing the work, doing the project. And the girl working the register was like, oh my goodness, this stuff is so good. So I have been using this, and this is amazing. This is the O'Keeffe's Working Hands Cream, and it says guaranteed relief. It is a thick cream, and I mean, it's one of those you don't need very much product because it can get very heavy feeling on the hands. I use this at nighttime right before I go to bed, and it definitely feels thick and I don't know how to describe it, just intense on the hands. And I will say, if I have truly cracked spots, I can almost feel like a tingle with the product. But oh my goodness, this just really hydrates and repairs is, I think, how I would describe what it does. I even use this on my nose. You know, do your own research and decide that for yourself. I don't know if you're supposed to use it on your nose, but when I had like a cold around Christmas time, I put this right around where I had such, like my nose, you know how that is. If you're blowing your nose a lot, your nose gets all cracked and dry and uncomfortable. So I was just kind of tapping it on, and within a few minutes, it was like sealing up that cracked, dry, uncomfortable skin. So if you need some intense hydration for your hands, this is so good. I think they even have a product for the feet, maybe a body product. But yeah, I need to use it more consistently. And even like right now, like I'm looking, I could use it on my hands again, but I mainly use it at nighttime. But I definitely can tell a difference. This works really well. Okay, and then a hair care favorite. I Was so excited to find this from Sally's. I found it online, went and purchased it in store. So y'all know, if you watched my yearly favorites and even last year's yearly favorites, I have a bedhead reverse wand that I love, but I stopped using it because it doesn't have a temperature control. And I don't know what that gets to, but I would guess 400 degrees or so. And for my fine hair, I keep pretty much all hair tools like 300 degrees and under. So I stopped using it and I really, really missed it. Like, using other either straight wands or conical wands where it's smaller up here and then wider at the bottom, I just don't like the way those curl as much because they don't give an... I didn't obviously curl my hair with this today because I needed to do fast hair and my waver's faster than this. This is still fast, but not as fast as my waver. Anyway, when I use other either regular curling irons or a wand that's straight or a conical wand, it doesn't give enough volume at the roots. That's what I love about a reverse wand, because when you hold it like this and then wrap it, you've got this tiny curl up at the root that just like this is a little bit softer looking, but this has more volume and lift at the root, which is what I love. So I love the curl pattern that a reversed wand gives. So I really, really missed the bedhead one. So I've been looking around. I'm like, where is the reversed wand? What? I cannot talk right now. A reverse wand with a temperature control. I was on the hunt. And then I found this one from Sally's. I will say it's an interchangeable wand. I cannot talk right now. It has multiple different attachments. So there's this one, like a really big one. I think this is a 1 inch, a 1 inch, a 1 1/4. I don't reach for those at all. I haven't even used them at all. But this one, I think it was like $60, which, you know, I would like it more if it were cheaper and only had the one attachment. But whatever, I'm just happy to have it because it has a temperature control. This one I put it has some like odd temperature numbers. It's like 286 and then like 302 or something. So, which is weird. I don't know, but I think I put it around 300. I think it's like 302 or something is what I put it at. Always use heat protectant. And I love it. So if you are looking for a reverse wand with a temperature control, they are hard to find and come by. This one from Sally's, I'm really liking. Okay, before I get to book favorites, I just have to do a little shout out and say thrifting. I'm loving thrifting again. It is the time, well, I always love thrifting, actually. Let me correct myself. But I thrift for different things, different times of the year. And the beginning of the year, after putting away Christmas things and kind of going through like old decor that I don't reach for as much and donating that, then I get really excited to thrift for other things, you know, like just see what's out there all the home decor things. So let me just show you some of my recent favorites. This is from Hobby Lobby, this little like floral thing. But the little jar, what is this? A pitcher? Oh my goodness, I love it. This was $5. I love that it's wood in the handle. It's very kind of 70s looking. My style is really kind of like vintage, boho, 70s, I would say, kind of like that. I do kind of like a little bit of like industrial, like metals, but different. I love all the things really, but anything kind of vintagey, I love. Look at this adorable little teapot. Oh my goodness, this is so cute. I do love antiquing too, but antiquing, you know, antique malls, they're curated. I mean, people go out and do all the thrifting and the finding, and then they make these cute booths. You know what I mean? Typically. So you're going to pay a higher price point because they're doing the curating for you. So I do love antiquing too, but I got this one at a little resale shop and it was $10, which I thought was a great price because this would be probably, I don't know, what would you say, $30+ at an antique mall. I love blue and white, like this kind of, I have several things that I have thrifted that have that kind of look and I just love it. I've thrifted some plates because I did like a plate wall thing. I got this little thing for $1. Can you even see it? But it's got a little cute doily in it. I love it. Oh my goodness. Thrifting is so fun. If you like the hunt of looking for, I love the creativity of all the things, of fashion, of makeup, of home decor. I love being creative in those spaces, in those things. So I love the hunt of thrifting, of like being able to kind of envision what you could do with those products. Anyway, Also got this cute ring. She said that this is a Avon ring from the 70s. I love it so much. I think it's so beautiful. This one I thrifted. It was missing a little pearl, but who cares? I think it's still cute this way. I think this was like $4. I think this was $10. Anyway, thrifting, I'm loving it. Specifically, mainly home decor right now. And then last but definitely not least, book favorites. I do want to mention these because I started to read this series, but I quit it. Like I quit reading. I liked the first book. Okay, this is The Liar's Crown by Abigail Owen. It's a YA question mark series. I really think it's like moving towards new adult. I don't remember what it's labeled, but there is some cussing in it, and there is an open door spice scene in the first one. It's not over. I don't know about the second one because I didn't read far enough. I would guess there is probably in here too, in the third book, I would assume. But it's an open door, spicy scene. Not overly descriptive, but it's definitely in there. So I would label this more, and I think the character's like 18 or 19. So I would say it's more new adult. Anyway, the covers are beautiful on this series. So pretty. So I would say just look up kind of the synopsis of it. But what I kind of found with this is it's the sort of fantasy book that I enjoyed it when I had a big chunk of time to read where I could really get into the story and concentrate on it. I liked it. But it wasn't the kind of storyline that I could just kind of sit down and read for 10 minutes and remember what was going on. It was a more complicated fantasy storyline, a little bit maybe more high fantasy, I guess you would say. So it was just a little bit intense for me of like, I'm getting confused. I did like the characters and the romance in it, but yeah, just the main storyline, it was kind of too hard for me to keep trying to get into. So I did enjoy the first book, but I didn't love it. The second one, I found I was kind of, there were times that I would really like it, and then other times that I was like, what? I'm confused, and I don't really want to pick that up. So, and then it got to a point in the storyline where it kind of got a little bit too dark, and I was like, okay, I think I'm out. So I DNF'd it at that point. But, you know, look it up. I didn't mind her writing style. Like, as far as, like I said, when I had more time to really be invested in it, I liked it. It was just, you know, sometimes I like a little bit easier sort of a fantasy book and series. Okay, let's talk about, so some of these are, I think, December favorites, like later in December after I was finished filming for the year, but I definitely wanted to mention them. So I read the Once Upon a Broken Heart series. So I have the UK covers because I think they're prettier. Once Upon a Broken Heart, and then Ballad of Never After, and then A Curse for True Love. So this is a kind of continuing like spin-off series from the Caraval series, which I really loved Caraval. So personally, I would say read Caraval, or at least give it a try. And if you kind of start, which is what I did, I was like, I'll just give it a try and see how I feel. But I was like, oh, I like these. I think they're really good. So the second book of that series, you are introduced to the main character in these books, the main guy character. So you really get his backstory, and I found his backstory really interesting and impactful to this series. So it's very whimsical. It's very, what is the word? Like fairy tale feeling, great romance, action, adventure, just really good. There were elements to the story that I was not expecting at all. And I'm like, oh, wow, I didn't realize that this kind of character was in this series. So it was just really very interesting. I loved it. So yeah, definitely had to mention those. I am reading also the Natural series from Jennifer Lynn Barnes. So I have read the first two. This is a YA mystery thriller series that all of the high school kids in this storyline, they are naturals in certain things. So either they're kind of natural profilers or lie detectors, or they can read human emotions, or they know numbers really well and just their brain works in that way. So they are working with the FBI, and there's like cases they're working on, but then there's also good like character interaction between them, and there's romance and friendship, and it just has a bunch of elements that I love. It's an easy read, which I really appreciated, you know, with reading that kind of more involved fantasy. This is just a really nice break. So I'm liking this series a lot. Then Metal Slinger, this one has been very popular, at least on TikTok. I loved this book. From the very start, I told Timothy, I mean, first chapter, it had me hooked. And as I was reading it, I kept telling Timothy, I'm like, I love this book. I am loving this book. I loved her writing style. It was so easy to read, easy to follow the storyline. It's not YA, so there is some cussing in it, but it's not, like, I didn't find it, like, excessive. There is spice, but it's towards the end. I think there's, like, 2 scenes back to back, and they're pretty intense, but, you know, you can skip them, and I didn't find that it was, like, the main focus of the storyline, which is really kind of like, you know, if it's skippable and I don't feel like it's a focus of the storyline, whatever, I can skip it. So I really, really liked this storyline. There's 2 kind of kingdoms, and her kingdom, you know what, should I just read it? Basically, there's 2 different kingdoms. She lives in one that's kind of living in a life over the sea, and then there's the other kingdom that's more on land. So they are there at the annual market. Something happens. There's kind of like a situation that occurs, and then she, you know, goes back home and she's confronted with kind of what happened at that market. And I don't even want to give away too much because I really just kind of went in pretty blind. Like, I didn't read much information about this. I just knew it was supposed to be really good. So she gets back home and is sort of confronted with what happened at the market, and the story goes from there. And there is like instant romance, instant tension, but it's not like a insta love or anything like that. But there's definitely like just a lot to it. I loved it. I would definitely recommend it. Okay, I feel like I babbled on for a very long time, but I hope that you guys really enjoyed this video. Please hit a thumbs up if you did. Let me know down below your monthly favorites. Ask me any questions that you have. I'm happy to answer those. Please subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!